Hi, everybody. This is Drew Tomlin with the Association for Middle Level Education, and I'm joined today by not one, not two, but three wonderful people. We have Dr. Nikki Woodson, and she's the Superintendent of Schools for Metropolitan School District of Washington Township in Indianapolis, Indiana, and also two excellent seventh grade students, Adrian Vasquez and Aaron Prine, and all three of us are joining us to talk a little bit more about this article that you're checking out in AMLE magazine entitled Leading with the Student Voice. So it's a leadership article, but one specifically about student leadership. So that's why we have kids with us today. So thank you so much for joining us, everybody.
Of course, pleased to be here.
Awesome. So question right off the bat for the students in the room. How do you define student voice, and why is student voice important to you?
I think student voice is just expression of how you feel about like problems that are in what would be like our generation of our future.
Mm-hmm.
Like I work with students with special needs and I help them out, and I think that's very important. So I think that's.
I think student voices are like when a kid, like when I went to Challenge Day with this is Dr. Woodson. Now I know, like when I come to school and everything, that I'm not alone, and that if I'm having a bad day, I could talk to a student like Aaron, or I could talk to a teacher, and I think it's just kids just speaking up and everything. Yeah.
Excellent. So speaking up and finding out that your voice can be joined with another student voice, that you can collaborate and work with each other. That's great. Thank you so much. And Dr. Woodson, in what ways have you listened to student voice?
Sure. No, I was thrilled to write this article. It was AMLE National Conference, and I was presenting on hands-on leadership, and I asked some questions in the audience. I said, how many of you, when was the last time you reviewed test scores? When was the last time you held parent conferences or met with parents about an issue? When was the last time you evaluated teachers? Handfuls in the room, every one of those questions. When was the last time you listened to student voice? It was like crickets. And so I think this is a hugely important topic for middle school leaders, because we're so busy with so many mandates and requirements that it's easy to lose sight of what we are experiencing here, students having their own voice in their own education. And middle school students have some great ideas and great things to say. So that's kind of the crux of this article, was that revelation in presenting at AMLE National Conference, that we really do need to take a step back from the busyness and listen to student voice. So one way, Adrian already mentioned, Challenge Day we've had the pleasure of having in the district for several years. And this year Adrian participated, which is what he alluded to. It is an entire day dedicated to listening to student voice. And then after that day of Challenge Day at our middle schools, we allow the student voice to make some leadership decisions in our buildings called Be the Change movement. And so it's a whole movement of students having a voice in, they don't like situations that are happening in the cafeteria with other students. Well, what can students come up with to help with those situations or those challenges or those problems? Another way that I share about at the AMLE Leadership Institute is a really hands-on way, is I shadowed a student in each of my schools for a day.
Right.
Different profiles of students. And so Adrian's experience and what he brings to school is different than Erin's experience and what she brings to school. And so I know I wanted to profile or shadow different students. And I did that for a day in each of our schools. I wore jeans and a spirit wear t-shirt. Right. And however started their day, I started. If they rode the bus, I rode the bus. If they started at swim practice, I was at swim practice first thing in the morning. Wow. So I could experience school and see the student voice by experiencing it for a day. It was the best learning experience that I've had, just by experiencing student voice, by being there with the students. It was fantastic.
Wow, that's such great. Thank you for those very concrete examples. So things that for those of you who are checking out this interview, you can take back to your own schools and school systems and say, wow, how can we do that? So it sounds like a combination of both your ears, that you are attuned to the student voice and listen, but then also your feet, and that you actually walked in their path and walked in their shoes for that day and shadowed them. I think that takes that's quite a deal of commitment. I know that your schedule is very packed, so bravo to you for shadowing those students. I think that's wonderful. You know, and I think it was obviously very encouraging to those students too, and that's something that you discuss quite a bit in your article. You discuss how important encouragement is to you, or was to you, Dr. Woodson. Why is encouragement such a critical ingredient in this recipe?
Absolutely. I think that going back to when I was a middle school student to today's middle school students, these kids are experiencing some tremendous things in their lives. They have a lot that they deal with outside of school and a lot that they deal with right here inside of school, from rigorous coursework to peers and social pressures. And without that motivator, that adult, that safe adult, that key person in their life that they can express things to and have a voice with, I think that our students can feel suppressed and like that school is a jail almost, because they don't have any outlet to express their feelings, or I don't like the way this is happening at school, but they don't have an outlet to voice that or to make a suggestion for change in their own school. So I think that encouraging students to have appropriate voice in their schools is creating the citizen that we all want. We want the citizen who sees something wrong in our neighborhoods and our communities, but designs a solution to that and has a voice and feels like they can go to somebody with that solution. If we don't do that with our students, they're not going to automatically turn into that as adults. So I really think it's an important step.
Right. It's such a great time in their lives to start that kind of encouragement. The middle level, it's such an impressionable time. And in terms of leadership, unfortunately, a lot of people wait until, or think that they need to wait until high school to really grasp leadership or to be encouraged to be leaders. But you definitely hit the nail on the head that middle level is the time to start that kind of conversation. So Adrian and Aaron, what ways do you feel that you have voice at your middle school, and what motivates you with that?
Like I said earlier, I am in Best Buddies, which is a special needs program. I'm a co-president in the Wesleyan branch. And I go to class with them, and I feel like that really helps me understand what's going on, like, all around. And I see what it's like to not be as, like, advantaged, I don't say advantage, but, like, have as many opportunities as we have, which I think helps a lot. And that's really my voice, because then I can take that out and tell the people and help other people, which I think is really important.
Excellent. Excellent.
Best Buddies is an amazing program, and I appreciate your involvement in that. What sparked your interest in it?
It was like last year, and my buddy, her name's Sarah, she has a seizure disorder, so she has to wear a helmet. And it was like the first day of school, and the special needs teacher came in and said that she has, like, feelings too, and if you want to be friends with them, you can go be in Best Buddies. And I kind of went in from there.
Great. No, thanks.
That's great. How about you, Adrian? What do you think?
Earlier, challenge day and everything, it changed me as a person. Now I know, like, when I just come into school and I'm having a bad day, I could, like, even go to Aaron and be like, hey, I'm having a bad super day, and, like, I just want somebody to talk to and get these feelings out. And I could just talk to anybody in the school, and now, like, I could just talk to people and know how, like, if they're having a bad day, I could talk to them about their kids coming to me for help and everything. Yeah.
Terrific. So it's about, like, to go back to what you said earlier, and also to what Dr. Woodson said, it's about having a chance for a voice and having an outlet for that voice. And sometimes those outlets provide a different outlook on yourselves and the possibility of school and the potential in other students as well. So again, bravo to everything you're doing as student leaders. I know it's great for yourselves, but also inspiring to other students and staff in the building. So well done. So Dr. Woodson, how should schools begin to grow student leaders and encourage students to have voice? For those schools or school systems that are really just getting started with this, how do they get started from your perspective?
Sure. I think that I've been victim to it myself as a school leader. We build structures and we create opportunities for students and develop a list of opportunities for students without asking the students what opportunities or clubs or enrichments or involvements that they actually want to have. So the first part is just talking to students. If you currently have a list of opportunities or ways that students can be involved in, start by reviewing that current list with your current students, asking them if these are the activities that they want to be involved in, or if they have different suggestions for change. Certainly, I think student government structures allow students to have voice and input if done properly at the middle school level. And then I definitely think folding in students into your processes. So we just finished the strategic planning process, which most districts have. Most schools have a school improvement process. Sometimes we sit around those tables and those committees planning for the future of academic achievement in our middle schools without involving students in that process. And so some of the current structures, I don't think that schools have to go out and create all these new things. Take the current structures that you have and think about ways to involve student voice in those current structures.
Wow, so even involving them on large systemic planning for improvement, that's a great step. So I hope you all are ready to embark on a metaphorical journey. Aaron, Adrian, do you feel up for it?
Yeah.
I know. I mean, you all are, I'm sure you're taking language arts as a class, and as a former language arts teacher, that's near and dear to me. So metaphors have a special place in my heart. There you go. All right, Dr. Woodson, I know you're ready. So if student leadership was a food for middle level education, what kind of food would it be and why?
Ketchup for French fries, because like middle school is French fries because everyone kind of likes it because you get to like meet all the new people and stuff. But without ketchup, it's not as good. So student voice is like student voice and student leadership is the ketchup for French fries that make it everyone wants to like have them and steal some of yours.
Oh, that's a great idea. Adrian, what do you think?
Well, I said broccoli because it makes you stronger and it makes you speak out and just makes you stronger as a person. Makes you speak out for your heart and know that you're if you come to school and all that.
Excellent, excellent. So would you add anything on that broccoli? I mean, would you put some cheese on it, or would it be plain, or what do you think?
I don't know.
Student leadership is never cheesy. How about that? We'll add cheese on it. All right. And the ketchup, all right, so you're not off the hook, Aaron. So with the ketchup, is the student voice, is that ketchup on the side, or is it do you just put it all on the fries?
For me, it's all over. For some people, keep it on the side and they don't do as much of it, but I feel like the more ketchup, the better, right?
Oh, okay, so it can't just be in a little cup on the side. Student voice needs to permeate the entire French fry thing. Wow. All right, Dr. Woodson, I don't know if that's tough act to follow. What do you think?
Student food analogies today, they were outstanding, both of them.
Absolutely.
From a leadership seat, I would say that student voice and student leadership in our middle schools is meat and potatoes. We can't have a meal without student voice in our middle schools. And so I think it is the main entree that will permeate everything else involved with the meal, because without it, we're setting up something that students may not even like if we haven't even asked for their voice. So I think it permeates the entire meal. So it'd have to be the main entree, the meat and potatoes.
Terrific. Wow, and you guys created a full meal. If I imagine all of that on one plate, you got some meat, potatoes, got some broccoli on the side. See, so by including all voices just in this conversation, we've created a more balanced diet for student leadership. So I'll tell you what, well done, well done. So, gosh, thank you so much. Adrian, thank you so much. Aaron, thank you, Dr. Woodson, for this conversation today. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Of course, thank you.
Awesome. And thank you, everyone, for checking out this article and checking out the Hangout here at AMLE, where we help you reach every student and grow professionally and create great schools. All right. Thanks again.